With a shortened NBA season last year and coming off of a short break in between the finals and the new season, we finally got a new season coming where we had an appropriate break. We had the gold medal game in Tokyo for the Olympics, and the NBA is about to be back on Tuesday. What's going on, guys? My name is Julian. I'm here with my boy Gerard, and we are going to break down this 2021-22 NBA season.
Yes,
Looking forward to it.
sir.
Let's get right into it. My boy Gerard.
Let's get. What's up, everybody? I'm excited. Talk about the NBA. Huge basketball fan. Basketball is my sport, so y'all know who I'm rocking. Always rocking New York, but we got to keep it moving.
Yes, sir. So today we're gonna go over the teams who had really good off seasons, the teams who did not have quite as good off seasons. We're gonna go over who we think are contenders just for making the playoffs, for the finals, and then we're gonna go over some of our MVP type of things and some awards and all that good stuff, and give you guys kind of an overview of what we think this season's gonna be about, pretty much. Gerard, you can start it off. Teams with the best off season coming into 2021-22.
All right, so I had three, but I'm gonna give you my top one. So my top one I had was the best offseason was the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, they brought in a lot of star potential with Kyle Lowry. That was something that they were missing. They have Bam, they have Jimmy, but they were missing that piece. Like Goran Dragic, decent point guard. Kendrick Nunn, decent point guard, whatever. But Kyle Lowry has championship experience. Along with PJ Tucker, he also got championship experience. So the Heat are looking good. They kept Duncan Robinson. That's
Which
huge.
I didn't think
so
they
you
were
can
going to
still
do
space.
either.
I didn't think they had enough money for it, to be honest. But they made it work. Vic Oladipo, if they can get him like healthy, I don't think he comes back to like Christmas time. But if they can get like typical Victor Oladipo, that's dangerous.
Yeah, and I think that's like the big reason that I actually have them as my biggest offseason winner as well. Not only are they able to re-sign Duncan Robinson again, I don't know how they made the money work, especially with getting Kyle Lowry. It doesn't really make sense.
Pat Riley's a magician,
He's
bro.
a magician. It's crazy. So now you have a core big three of Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo, and Jimmy Butler, who Jimmy and Bam have already been to a final together. And pretty much the core is still there outside of like Iguodala and like Kelly Olynyk. And then they go get Victor Oladipo. And the main part about getting Oladipo is that they got him at a veteran's minimum. This is a guy 2 years ago turns down a max offer from the Houston Rockets. He didn't really want to stay there. I can't really blame the guy, but he goes from all that money to now going to a contending team at least, but for the least amount of money possible. He's on a prove-it year. This is probably his only season in Miami, so if they're going to make something happen with Vic as an actual part of this team, it's got to be this year.
Well, he was there last year, but, injuries.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
This is right. And then I think one key piece that's like really good for the Heat is they're keeping Udonis Haslem. He's staying in the league, so that's something that you want in your locker room. Yeah. Haslem's got what, 4 rings?
Yeah,
three.
He's not going to be playing a whole lot of minutes, but
yeah, but like it's just that presence, that dog on your team, someone to like keep these young guys in check, like get Tyler Hero in check and Duncan Robinson, and he's just a dog to me. He's always been a dog.
Yeah, and we talk about having locker room guys around. This is a team that already was really good defensively and always played really scrappy defensively. And they add maybe the scrappiest defender we've seen in a long time with Kyle Lowry. He's always putting his body on the line and all that. I think this is a great fit. I don't know how high the ceiling is for this team, but I do think they are going to be at least contending in the East this year.
I truthfully think they got a chance to make the finals again.
Really?
I think so. I mean,
obviously we're hoping Duncan and Tyler like take another step,
especially since Tyler Hero's asking for that Luka Trey respect. But that's yeah.
That boy said Luka, Trae Young, Tyler Hero. We said, excuse me? wait. You got a song about you, but that's about it, big fella.
I'm saying it's an average song.
Okay,
at best.
Don't cap. Don't cap. Come on now. Yeah, I mean the Heat look good, man. The Heat look good. And they ended last year pretty strongly as well. So
But I think honorable mention, gotta go with the Knicks.
yeah,
The Knicks, I think off seasons, what you need to look at in off season is look at where you were at last year, and you need to make improvements. So last year, our starting point guard for most of the year, Alfred Payton. This year, Kemba Walker. I mean, who knows how many games he'll actually play because
yeah,
it's not the healthiest player, but D Rose looked really good last year,
yeah.
especially towards the end in the playoffs. So something to look forward to the Knicks. And we got Evan Fournier. I mean, I've been to a lot of Magic games, and that's the one dude. I don't. It doesn't make sense. He's always cooking people for at least 20 when I go to those games.
Yeah, he's staying in Orlando all that time. Definitely got super under the radar. This is a really big pickup, and I think less. We'll kind of get into it, but less of a great pickup for the Knicks and more of a detrimental loss for the Celtics. I do want to talk about that later, more in depth. But I mean, getting him and Kemba is really good for that backcourt in New York. They just directly upgrade from Reggie Bullock and Alfred Payton. I don't know how much better it makes the Knicks, but the Knicks are definitely at least coming into the season with expectations as opposed to last year where they really weren't at all.
I'm saying.
And then I'm sure you're going to touch on it, but another team with a great offseason, the Chicago Bulls. I don't know how well it's going to work. I want to preface it by saying that. I am not a believer in the formula of this team at all.
It's confusing because it's like you got Zach LaVine, right?
Young stud.
And then you raw, amazing. And then you get DeMar DeRozan, who at one point in time was literally identical
The same
to Zach
exact
LaVine.
player. The exact same player.
Yeah.
They both can't shoot outside
Little older
shot,
now.
little super athletic. I mean, he's still uber athletic, so it works out. Not the best defensively.
Right. It's just you have some athletic beasts. I mean, you got Lonzo. Lonzo's super athletic.
Yeah.
You got Caruso, so you can stretch the floor a little bit. You got someone who come off the bench, play some defense. But then you got Nikola Vucevic.
That's the real pickup here. I think, and that's the one where
Right.
everybody's kind of sleeping on. We're talking about DeMar. We're talking about Lonzo, and another Orlando Magic, another guy we've kind of ignored for a long time. And the last 3 years, he's averaged 20 points, 10 boards. That's elite company. Not a lot of guys are doing that over a 3-year span. Outside of KD, Kevin Love, Anthony Davis, like those types of guys, and those are obviously very successful guys in their career to this point. Vucevic is right there, and the pieces, do they mesh? There's not a whole lot of shooting on this team. In fact, there's like almost no shooting. Alex Caruso's probably the best 3-point shooter, and then Kobe White after that.
Right.
And maybe they're trying to say, hey, the Bucks just won without a lot of outside shooting, but this team doesn't have Giannis, so I don't.
They don't have Holiday. They don't have Middleton. It's kind of like,
and they kind of have like bootleg versions of all three, I guess. Like,
yeah. So I mean, it'll be interesting to say the least. But I mean, we'll touch more on them later because I have them on a different segment. But
okay.
yeah, But other than that, like, it was a good off season. But I think the most talked about off season, the Los Angeles Lakers. The retirement home team.
Listen, if this was a team in 2017, 2015.
No, I would say 12.
Well, Anthony Davis was 11 back then, so we got to take that into account.
Anthony Davis was the rookie on the USA team back
in 2012. Yeah, he was. That's crazy.
I think so. Yeah,
that's crazy. So we'll say 2013. Give him a year in the league. This team is terrifying.
Because you got think about it. You got Thunder Westbrook,
scoring title Melo,
monster, scoring title Melo, MVP LeBron, young Anthony Davis, Celtics Rondo. Trevor Ariza was probably, I don't know, he's been on all like 32
teams, I feel like. Ever. He's never spent more than 6 months on any of them either.
Dwight Howard. You got Magic Dwight Howard. If he was still in the match.
I don't think he was then, but that was like fresh after it. Like that was OG Lakers Dwight Howard, I think.
Yeah. And then I don't know who else. I think as far as all the vets go. Now you get to add Malik Monk, who's brings some youth to the team. Um, Kendrick Nunn, who was a good backup for the Heat. Now he's back up on the Lakers. So they have depth. That's one thing they were always missing. They have depth. They were never a shooting
They still
team.
aren't either.
They're
Still
still
not. Like their
yeah,
best
but
shooter now is outside of LeBron and AD. Is it Malik Monk? Is it Kendrick Nunn?
I I guess. I guess so. I mean,
Yeah, I think
Melo
Melo
had
had
a
a good
what
year last
14
year too.
game.
So
Yeah, and then but they keep the defense. That was one thing they were missing last year. I felt like that interior defense because you got rid of
yep.
Dwight, you got rid of JaVale McGee, so you had no interior defense. Now you're looking at it where it's like you got DeAndre Jordan. I mean, DeAndre Jordan is nothing like he was in
DeAndre Jordan's not
2013,
even gonna
but
really play on this team either. If we're looking at
it's just depth. It's better than Marc Gasol,
yeah.
lock knees. And then you got Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard is still an inside presence because he's 7 foot, massive shoulders. Like so, can't count them out.
Yeah, but I mean the real thing here is Russ. I mean, they go
How is it going to
they
work?
trade for Russ. Obviously a superstar in this league. He's been around a couple places now. He's known to not be super successful in the playoffs. Mr. Triple Double, probably the best we'll ever see at that particular skill, unless some crazy dude comes out of nowhere. But I mean, he's just built different. Um,
It's going to be interesting to see
it's
LeBron
weird, right?
for one, like to not have to really be the playmaker. Like even when he had Kyrie, LeBron was still
Yeah,
a
because Kyrie
playmaker.
was young and pretty
He
immature,
was
which I mean
just a scorer.
clearly hasn't changed. But um,
That's we ain't gonna talk about it.
but I mean, Russ is like a ball dominant point guard, and he's pretty good at it outside of the turnovers. And I don't look at preseason stats too much, but he turned the ball over a lot in preseason. It's a little scary, a little bit scary.
All
But yeah,
right.
I don't know how this is gonna work because they go get him, but he can't really shoot the ball, and that's the type of guard they needed. You would have thought they would have gone and got Kemba Walker. It would have made a little bit more sense.
I thought they should have. I thought if they would have got Buddy Hield, they would have had the best off season because you would have got
No.
Buddy Hield. You probably would have been able to keep Caruso. Probably would have been able to keep KCP, who are two guys who can shoot the ball. So now you have three perimeter shooters. So that
And
floor
Buddy
is
Hield's a
stretched.
really
And
good
then
one
you
too.
and then you can get all those veteran guys that you still wanted to get.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't have Monk, you wouldn't have I think Bazemore is there. Me might still have him. Maybe not Ariza or something like that, but you can still get Dwight Howard, all these other vet
Yeah,
guys.
the
So
issue still would have been, do they have a guy that can kind of be the main ball handler when LeBron doesn't want to be, and they wouldn't have had that. They at least they do now, but I do think shooting's a little bit more important for this team. But I mean, who knows? Maybe this works really well, and just nobody can stop them in the paint because it's going to be a really tough task when you have AD on the interior,
yeah,
and now you have the fastest dude with Russ and LeBron. Like,
fast break's gonna
yeah,
be
oh
crazy.
yeah,
Fast break's gonna be insane.
it's just so strange. It's crazy all the
It's just,
stars LeBron's been able to play with. It's
like
crazy.
I'm trying to picture this team in 2013, 82 and 0.
But here's an interesting like comparison though, right? How different is this team's big three from the Miami Heat's big three? Like if you look at it
I
1-to-1, it's really, really similar outside of Russ being a worse defender than D Wade.
so yeah, so we're comparing what 80 to
Yeah.
Bosch.
Which
Bosch is definitely better. Not Bosch. I'm sorry. I did not mean
I
to
was
say
like,
that.
I love Chris Bosh, bro. Bro.
Nah, 80's definitely better, and then Wade's better, and then yeah, I guess so because
It's
you got.
really
I
similar.
think it would be Melo. Melo would be the deciding factor. I
Yeah,
feel.
but and then you look, they have Ray Allen and Battier and Mike Miller and all those sharpshooters, and that's kind of why that worked. But I do
Yeah,
think that it's similar enough that we can kind of compare it and say, hey, it's worked before. Why wouldn't it again?
you never know. We'll see. I mean, I think they'll be top three in the West, easy. But
Should be,
as far
should
as
be.
like championship runs, it all depends on how they mesh.
Yeah, I do want it to be known the West got worse.
West is.
The
I don't
West
even.
got worse. It really did. I don't like any of the teams outside the top six, and granted, six is pretty deep, but
I mean, I guess that's a smooth transition to teams that didn't perform
It's
this offseason because there's a couple.
it's listen, two of them are in the West, two of them made the playoffs, and I don't think they're going to again. They both have superstars that if they don't keep them happy are gonna jump ship. I'm gonna start with
One,
the Dallas Mavericks. The
okay,
Dallas Mavericks, the only thing that they did this offseason was sign Reggie Bullock, which is a decent signing, and then re-signed Luka Doncic to a big deal, which they needed to do. Obviously, he's a superstar. He deserves all that money. He's one of the best in the league, and he's still so young. It's crazy.
22 years old.
But what we saw from Dallas last year was Luka doing everything. Tim Hardaway
Legit
Jr.
every.
maybe playing a good 7 minutes and then kind of disappearing for the rest of the game, and Kristaps just being a light pole.
Like, I don't understand. Like, you did all this work to get him here, and then he's performing
Terribly.
terribly.
And I mean, granted, that trade was
And
bad
there's,
for both teams. Let's just throw that out there. Like the Knicks
yeah,
and the Dallas Mavericks lost that Porzingis trade. Uh,
but it's like, there was a times during the season in the playoffs, like, I would rather have had Maxi Kleba on the floor than Kristaps Porzingis.
and uh, that needs to be a clip. I want that posted. That's a tough sentence. That's a tough sentence. And you know what? I'd
I mean, but
agree.
think about it. Like, what did Kristaps Porzingis bring? Because he didn't bring anything. Like, I know Maxi Kleba is not bringing anything more than like a decent shot, but at least he was hitting stuff. I think it was the first game of the playoffs or first or second game. Kristaps was yanking the ball from like not even like way past the 3-point line, and just clang.
Well, and then he had no creativity in the lane, and you know this isn't a Kristaps hate session. That's not what this is. This is just like
Yes, it is.
yes, yeah, yeah, it is. But like, how do you re-sign Luka and then do literally nothing besides get Reggie Bullock? But the crazy thing is, like, they got
And
Reggie, but then they lost Josh Richardson. So it's
Richardson.
like you got the same player but older.
Yeah, so it's like, what good did that
Nothing.
bring you?
Not
Oh, and their coach, who Jason Kidd as the head coach. He unless he got better at coaching in LA,
no, which he
it's
did,
so
by the way.
it's so
I
bad.
think he's the most recent coach to be traded, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's just I'm like, why?
I don't know, man. There's something weird about the NBA right now where they're just like, "Hey, we really need to sign this old point guard to be a head coach," when none of those point guards
I'm
played the way that the league is played right now. Like that's the crazy thing. Like Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, and Chauncey Billups are all head coaches, and none of them were particularly good at shooting volume threes. Like they were good percentage guys, but they were not volume three and scoring guards, and that's what the league is now. It's
right. They were just literally play. They were playmakers.
which is
All three of them
awesome,
were
and I love that. And
playmakers.
they're all great, and I love Jason Kidd. I love them. I really do.
But that was good back in what like
But if
2012.
but if
That's
they
not
were
good
in the
anymore.
league now, they would just be Drew Holiday without the defense, and like, is that even worth it? I don't know. And, you know, they would be better than that. Let's just throw that out there. They would be better than that, but I'm exaggerating.
Yeah,
But you know,
but
it's a different league than when they played, and Jason Kidd's not gonna make this team that can't shoot the ball be able to shoot the ball all of a sudden.
they just have too many bigs on that team
And
too.
they're well, too many
Like
bigs that don't play like bigs. That's the crazy thing
like
too.
like Willie Cauley Stein. He's legit huge. Like
He's
he's just
gigantic.
tall, lanky, but there's times when it's like, why are you on the court?
It's like every time he's there.
Like I went to the game last year, the Magic Mavericks game, and obviously Luca put up like 30
Classic.
something. But other than that,
Yeah.
that was it. That was
No,
literally it.
it's
Like
honestly maybe the most poorly put together team I've seen in like a long time. Because they're trying to contend. That's the thing. This isn't like, hey, we got our star and we're slowly building around it. This is not that. This is
no,
we are trying
Luca's
to win.
Luca's a dude who's like he's on your team to win. He's not on your team to make the
Yeah.
playoffs. He has enough talent to take a team to the finals, but you have to put the pieces around him.
Yeah, and
So
you know, I'm really looking at how this year is gonna go for them. and I know he just signed that extension. I fully expect by this time next year, maybe not this time, we'll say like August next year, we'll be hearing rumors that Luka wants out.
I mean, I don't blame him.
But my issue is why
granted,
just sign the contract? We got a super max, so like, there it is.
because he was 21 years old, 22 years old. Like,
And
when you're
and
young,
the thing is, he wants
money's
to win
nice.
there, and he signed that contract before they did nothing.
Yeah, like you signed it like with the promises. Oh, we're gonna do a lot for you this offseason. To then get what Reggie Bullock.
So bad. Who you got from it? Who else had a bad offseason?
It hurts me because he's probably my favorite point guard in the league. The Portland Trailblazers.
I'm happy we're on the same page because that was the other team I was talking about.
I'm sitting here. What Dame? So the part that's crazy to me, the part that's like, it just doesn't make sense. Dame literally expressed to the media that you look at our team, we do not look like a championship team.
And he said it, and he said, I need this to change.
And so in the midst of all that, you panic to get a coach. Granted, Chauncey Billups, I'm going to give him a chance.
Also, that was the coach Dame wanted, so let's...
Yeah. But you don't do anything. Like, there's, like, I think CJ's on the decline. CJ hasn't looked as good as he has the past couple years.
Plus, he's a
Dame is pushing
guy.
30.
Just another guard that's significantly better that needs the ball.
Dame's pushing 30. So, I feel like at this point, I think Dame wants to rap more, truthfully.
I don't think he does. I think he does because he's there.
Yeah.
I think he's just like, all right, I really hope that I don't have to keep going in June with this group of idiots because I got an album to drop.
And then you have like Nurkic. He's good.
He can't stay on the court.
Yeah, he'll play one game every other week.
He'll play one postseason minute.
And then you have no bigs now. You lost Zach Collins. I mean, we're not saying Zach Collins was,
and he didn't play last year either. So like, how much of a loss is it? I'm not sure, but he was supposed to be this big piece when they drafted him, and never really worked.
They kept Norman Powell though, so I will give him that. That's a good keep. Yeah. Some little depth there, but other than that, you have Dame can score, CJ can kind of score, and Norman Powell can kind of score.
Well, and they lose Enes Kanter.
None of them can play defense. Kanter's not there anymore, and they don't play defense.
They don't play defense, and they don't shoot the ball well enough to not be able to play defense.
And you lose Melo.
Who was really good for them last year.
You're in the division where you have the Warriors, the Lakers,
Nuggets.
I think the Kings are there too.
Oh, the division, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean
the Kings and the Clippers.
Yeah.
Whatever that division is, you have all of them in your division, and you are looking, and they all got better. Even the Kings got better.
got better by default because they're young. They didn't do anything, but they're young.
So you have teams that are getting better, and you're the only team in that division that's getting worse.
Yeah. They did, and they barely scraped into the playoffs last year, too. It took a Herculean effort from Dame to even get in. And
it took a better effort for them to even get games against the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Like that one game where Lillard was just popping off. And
they went to OT or double OT or something like that because he couldn't miss from 50 feet. Crazy.
It's hilarious. The video of when he finally missed, Austin Rivers looks up and just goes, "Thank you."
He's like, "I can't keep doing." Austin Rivers was apparently as good in that game. What was that about? But yeah, I don't know. I love Portland as a team. I think that they're a really fun organization, and they've kind of flipped the script. Like a couple years ago, they spent all this money. They gave Nick Batum a super contract, and I don't even remember who else. A bunch of random guys, Mo Harkless, and a bunch of random guys, big contracts. Because it's like, hey, we need Dame and LaMarcus to have a team to win. And then that didn't work, and now they're like, oh my God, well, I don't want to do anything because now we owe money. It's like, well, now you're just gonna waste the prime of the best player in your
Right.
franchise's history.
Like, you already didn't win one with Brandon Roy was there. Granted, that was
Yeah, and that
injuries,
wasn't
but
super fair. And same thing with Greg Oden. Like that would have been a whole different team.
it's like all these opportunities are just passing
Yeah.
you by, and because like Dame's like a once in a generation type
I mean,
dude.
he's likely going to be the best Portland Trailblazer for a long time, unless he goes and brings LeBron over. Like, how do you?
I mean, even then, he still might already have it.
Well,
Maybe no Clyde.
no,
but
he's better than everybody else for sure.
you think he's better than
I think
Clyde?
talent wise, yeah. Just like and how good he is, Clyde. He won a ring, but like, you know,
True, I feel that.
maybe I'm wrong. I'm not the big Blazer guy here, but
Yeah, me neither. But I love Dame.
Me too. Free Dame.
Free my boy Dame.
Dame. Who?
We got room in New York for you, Dame, if you're watching.
Sure,
So.
we do got room. Who else had a bad offseason?
Oh.
I don't want to even talk about it, but the San Antonio Spurs just awful.
Oh, that was so bad.
Awful.
I was about to say because it's like you lose everybody,
and then they go get Thaddeus Young.
And so Thaddeus is supposed to be LaMarcus.
Oh God, Thaddeus Young, LaMarcus Aldridge. That's the worst sounding team I've ever heard in 2021.
Well, I mean, LaMarcus isn't there.
Oh yeah, LaMarcus is in Brooklyn now.
I mean, he almost wasn't playing, but
God.
And then you lose DeMar DeRozan,
who had a good year last year.
Yeah, I mean, you bring in Zach Collins. I think that's where he's at.
Yeah, Zach Collins is there. You lose. The big loss is Patty Mills.
Underrated player.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they had a great offseason. In fact, I think they had a bad offseason, but not due to their reasons. But the Brooklyn Nets, that's a big get, is getting Patty Mills. And even with their circumstances, that's actually proving to be better because he's a guy who can run the point and run the two, and he can score and he can create his own shot. We saw it in the Olympics. He was insane in the Olympics.
All of them dudes were insane in the Olympics. I'm watching Africa or whoever, whatever team it was, and just giving us the business. I'm sitting here, I'm like, excuse me?
All right, I saw this man Patty Mills put up like 38, and I was like, excuse me?
Yeah, bro, I'm sitting here
like 70% shooting. I'm like, ain't no way.
But I think a big key for the Patty Mills ad is he was almost going to the Lakers.
Yeah, and I'm surprised he didn't. I think it was because of the Olympics too. Like that definitely played a part into it.
Yeah, it's like you took a piece to a team that if they would have got Patty Mills, I think they are way better than the Nets. Off of depth alone.
Yeah, and I mean, again, circumstances definitely would have helped that as well. But just crazy. Anybody else with a bad offseason? I'm sure there was a couple. Hawks got better just from getting older. They didn't do anything.
They got Sharif Cooper. Sharif Cooper is a 20-point scorer.
Jalen Johnson too.
At Auburn. Yeah, he is mad athletic. And they kept Collins.
They kept everybody.
That was huge. Didn't think they were going to do that. So, and you get a healthy Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter this year. So, be really good for them. I'm just the 76ers.
Before you rant, have you ever seen a team get so many stars, borderline fringe superstars, in and out of the door on this revolving door and just stay so mediocre in like any sport?
Like you bring in Jimmy,
superstar,
and what did he? Nothing. You bring in Tobias Harris, who's not a superstar by any means, but solid.
He's like a fringe superstar. I think had he not been in Philly, might be.
Yeah, he's a really good player. He's really good in Orlando, and now he's just there. And then you have Ben Simmons, who he is literally the same exact player from when he was drafted.
Yeah.
He really hasn't gotten worse.
A little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger, so he's not even really got better because he still
can't
shoot to save us. I lost all hope in Ben Simmons. I lost all hope in Ben Simmons when he had Trae Young under the basket and he passed it out.
Have you seen the Twitter thread where some guy said every 25 likes I'll make Trae Young smaller? And it's the
No, I
picture of
haven't.
Ben with him under the hoop, and he's about to pass it out, and so Trae just gets smaller and smaller, and Ben still passes it out. It's awesome.
Like 6'9", bro. You are 6'8", whatever, however tall you are. And it's the fact that like even Embiid's calling you out
Nope.
in press
He
conferences.
said, "I don't want you here," and then he came back. He's like, "I guess I
It's
gotta
like
deal with you."
I'm sure I don't think Ben Simmons is going to end his season in Philly. I think someone will eventually take him. But for what they were trying to give up, I mean trying to get for
Did
him,
you
I'm
see
like,
so?
did y'all
Did you
not see
see
how
some of these like things they were requesting?
like 3 first-round picks, 2 stars? I was like,
I saw
bro,
one that was like Wiseman, Klay Thompson, and a first, and it's like, what?
like why would the Warriors that doesn't even make
Because like
sense. Like you're gonna one of the best shooters
if
of
we're
all time for
if we're
Ben
talking just
Simmons.
value, Ben Simmons was a 1 overall pick, but he's older, and Wiseman was a 3 overall pick, and he's younger at a position that like granted they have already, but like value wise, they're like almost even on their own.
Like I think Ben Simmons might have hit his peak, and Wiseman still is on his incline. So
Yeah, so like that's just I don't know. They were asking a lot. It was pretty funny to see like the floundering there. Philly, we thought they were ran so well, and just it's kind of funny to see like the train kind of derail and very quickly too, very quickly.
I thought they were, I thought they were gonna beat the Hawks. Truthfully,
I mean,
I
they
thought they
should
had it,
have. Why shouldn't
but
they have? You know,
but Trey Young's scary, I guess, especially in
built
the
different,
paint.
built different rim protector Trae Young.
I just feel like they just have such letdown year. I mean, the one time where I don't blame them for their letdown was the Kawhi Leonard shot when he was
Yeah,
in
and that's
Toronto.
tough. And that was probably
That's
like their best chance. And it does suck to see like a team that probably would have done better. They probably would have won it all that year if that shot doesn't go in.
mm,
Um,
I think so.
but tough. It's so tough.
You gotta deal with what you got,
Deal with what you got, and
and if you
they
got
got to deal
Simmons,
with Ben Simmons because he's coming back, baby. He's coming
that's
back. And you know
tough.
what? That's a great transition because we're talking about Ben Simmons, and he is just clearly not going to be in this conversation we're going to have. Um, MVPs. Who are we looking at? We got Nikola Jokic, who had a fantastic year. Uh,
The joke,
kind of like an
man.
out there MVP. I mean, we all knew he was good, but with the dominance of Giannis, and we knew KD was coming back, and LeBron was healthy for half the year. Like,
Yeah, I think he got it because of those reasons. Because LeBron was hurt for a little bit, which greatly
yeah,
impacted his stuff.
yeah,
Joel Embiid was hurt for a hot minute too, and he was the front runner
yeah.
when he was hurt before he got hurt. So I mean, Jokic, what seed were they? The second seed, third
Yeah,
seed?
some one or two. I don't remember which.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like I mean, he balled out.
Got
He could shoot,
the
pass.
best passing big man we've ever
That's the
seen.
biggest thing. I'm like that. You are what 7 foot, but you pass the ball like you're a guard.
Better than half the guards that are around. He's a better passer than Russ.
Oh, for sure, because he doesn't turn the
Yeah, that's
ball
the
over.
thing. Like he he doesn't turn it over. He makes good decisions. He can shoot. His shot's ugly, but he can shoot. And he's the most athletic fat man we've ever seen, besides Tyson Fury.
There's, gosh, that's oh man, Fury. Anyways, I think we'll talk about it later, but I think I think they're good. I think they made some improvements. I mean, like not really made any improvements, but they stayed where they needed to be,
Yeah, well, and
which
Michael
is
Porter should be getting a little bit better. They'll get Jamal back at some point.
the key for them. Yeah, they didn't have Jamal last year, which is huge. But the key for them, why don't they play Bol Bol? If someone can come to me and
I don't
tell
know,
me
man.
why they don't
He's
play
an
Bol
impact
Bol,
when he's on the court. I think he'll play this
like
year. You know what he reminds me a lot of, and it's kind of funny because they went to the same school and I was able to watch both of them. But he reminds me a lot of Chris Boucher. which I don't know how much Raptors basketball you were able to watch last year, but Chris Boucher was very, very good for the Raptors. And he kind of like finally learned how to use his really long, really skinny body. He learned how to finally hit those outside shots, but he was also a really good ball handler and able to take people off the dribble. Bol Bol's the exact same player. The exact same player, just he's a little bit taller, which is like actually a detriment. But
Yeah.
if he can be that type
Like
of
I see
guy,
him,
that's scary.
like I see him in summer league, and the stuff he's doing, like between the legs, pull up off a transition. I'm like, brother, there is no reason you should be doing
None.
this. Like, I mean, not saying 2K is an accurate representation of how good NBA players are, but give me ball on 2K, you're not stopping me.
I
You
think they
won't
gave
touch
like
me.
Bol like a insane like card a couple years 2 years ago when he was a rookie, and he was like a 99 with 99
Yeah,
shooting, and he was as tall as he
I had
is. And it's
I had that on my team, bro. It was absolutely disgusting because you can run him at point. It's like,
he's just 7 feet to that point. Oh man,
but MVP, I would say my MVP, Luca. I haven't gone
that's your
Luca
guy.
because
Because there's only one. There's no
he's only
runners. None of that. Your
it's
guy.
Luca because he's only
Okay.
gotten better. He's 22 years old, so he like it's crazy. Like I don't think he's scratched his potential yet. Like I think he's gonna get that
Really?
much better. And then like we said like earlier in the segment, or he doesn't have anything in the off season. Like nothing was
Yeah.
given to him, so he really has to do it by himself. And I think if he balls out with a new coach and no offseason improvements, like I'm thinking he could very well average like 38-8
Okay.
this year.
Thirty-eight,
That's my
eight.
prediction for Luca.
Sheesh.
30.
That's a lot.
He has to. Like he doesn't have
So
a
you know whose
choice.
numbers that reminds me of a lot? And this is going to be my MVP prediction. I feel like this is kind of a surprise. I feel like people kind of forgot about him for whatever reason. James Harden. That's my MVP prediction for this year, and here's why. Here's why. Kyrie's not playing for the Nets this year. If he does, it's not till the very end. They are without a point guard. He's going to wind up playing the point guard position for this team in a very different way than he has in the past. He's not going to be shoot first or look to get his own shot all the time. He's going to get it to KD and kind of work off of each other. KD's going to score more, I think, as he probably should in general. But whenever Harden's not going to be on the court for the Nets, I think they are going to be a significantly worse team. Significantly worse team.
I mean, because even last year, like Kyrie, before the season even started, he was like, he looked at each other, your point.
Yeah.
Like, you're
Yeah.
the playmaker. You do what you
Immediately.
got to do. And even like in the playoffs, like he was playing on one leg basically, but he still wasn't doing
Yeah,
terrible.
he was
So
very hurt. Like he should. I actually thought it was like irresponsible of the Nets to be playing him. I was like, I remember talking to Brooklyn about it. I was like mad. I'm like, the Nets are just like objectively blowing their championship next year if like Harden gets hurt here. Because now
exactly.
imagine
And
coming
like
into this year and there's no Kyrie and Harden's like out for 8 months. Do they even make the
then
playoffs? I
it's
don't
all.
know.
I mean, I think they made the playoffs, but like a six,
I
seven
mean, the
seed.
East is deep
So
this year, and if you have a team with just KD, I don't know if that makes the playoffs. Like, because that team is not deep enough. It's KD, Blake Griffin, and Patty Mills.
I mean, I like that too because he had a slow start
Yeah,
too. James had a slow. He was
yeah, and I
fat.
think that was like a choice to be a slow start, like, as we've kind of all realized.
He pulled a Blake
Yeah, he
Griffin,
really did.
but I can see Harden. It's just a matter of will he stay healthy.
Yeah, it's will he stay healthy, and like how big of a role is like KD gonna let him have? Like, is KD okay with being the
Right.
second fiddle again? I don't think he is. I mean, that's why
I
that's why
I
he
don't
left
think
Golden
so.
State. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think KD's ever, since he left OKC, he's never been the most important player on his team, and I don't even think that's true now.
No,
I
I
just
mean,
don't.
even in OKC, like I don't even think you can make the
That was
argument
Russ.
that that was Russ.
I mean, they still made the playoffs when he left.
Yeah, that was MVP
Yeah.
Russ that year.
So
So I mean,
this is not KD slander, by the way. I just think James Harden's gonna have a really really good year without Kyrie there, and because he has to.
He doesn't have a choice.
Doesn't
Like same thing with
he's
Luka.
gonna
Like they
score
don't have.
26. He's gonna average a triple double this year, like really close. He'll go like 26,
Yeah,
13, and 8. And we're like, whoa,
because who's their big man?
Blake Griffin.
Yeah, he might
You
have
know,
he might
like
have
you know what I'm
average.
saying? Like he might. What is his name? I don't even remember his name. Claxton.
Nicholas
He's their center,
Claxton,
and he's okay.
but the net,
It's all
yeah,
right.
but small ball's the way to go anyway. So
That's my show. I like the Luca one. I didn't want to double down. Luca probably would have been my guy. I'm not doubling down on that though. So I'm actually going Harden. It's really easy to say
yeah,
KD. It's really easy to say LeBron. It's really easy to say Steph.
and to be honest, Steph was my
Steph was your
second
second. Yeah.
because I was like, Clay's not coming back till what, December?
I
So
thought Clay
Christmas
was starting the
time,
season.
maybe. No, he's not coming back till Christmas. So that's what, 2 months almost of Steph having to make sure that the Warriors stay afloat.
Which he did all
And I
last
think
year.
Steph is gonna go. So I think he's gonna go berserk.
That's what he did last year. Steph was nuts last year, especially that second half. Oh my god,
That didn't make any
really
sense.
dumb. It's really dumb. And I'm gonna bounce off of that, and we're gonna look at these 2022 NBA Finals odds. This is to win the finals, and I have to do that transition because number one, we got the Brooklyn Nets at plus 240. They are pretty heavily favored to win it all. This is even with the Kyrie news, so I think they're assuming that at some point he'll play. You have that big three, probably the best big three ever. So makes sense. Number two, Los Angeles Lakers plus 400.
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Number
Westcott.
three,
So.
they're tied. There's two teams at 3, but this is how they're ranked. The Golden State Warriors, plus 900.
Hmm?
Yeah. And it's a pretty significant jump from this and a team they're tied with to the next one.
Okay, I mean, I guess they're just
The
Clay's back,
way they're
so,
thinking is the last time Clay and Steph were healthy, they won a championship. Or were in the championship, and then the year before won it. So the last time they were all healthy, granted there was KD there, but that's what they're thinking.
whatever. Yeah, all right. We'll go with
You
it.
add
We'll go.
Kuminga, you have a healthy James Wiseman. They have some things.
Wiggins too. Yeah.
Wiggins
so
is
he can
probably
ball
the
too.
best possible replacement for KD. I mean, not really, but Michael Porter Jr. probably is. But he's as close of a thing as you're gonna get for as cheap as they got him, in terms of trade value. Tied with them, the Milwaukee Bucks, the current champions, are tied for 4th, I guess you want to call it, at plus 900. I don't like that. I think they got better. Like, they lose PJ Tucker, but they get George Hill. They get Grayson Allen. Like, that's shooting that they've needed. And
like, I don't think they. I'd say they don't need PJ Tucker.
He was not very good
but
in the playoffs either.
It's like Giannis is perfectly fine doing it with what he has there. Brook Lopez is still there.
The core is still there. Then they just add 2 outside shooters. So, I mean, like, I probably would have had them at 3, like, definitively. Maybe at 2 over the Lakers. They are the champions.
And Bobby Portis is still there. He's balling in the playoffs.
If they can get a full season like that out of him,
be solid.
Then the other team in the finals. Weird. The 2 finals teams are 4 and 5. Phoenix Suns plus 1,500.
They just have to stay healthy. So if they don't stay healthy, that's probably what they're banking on, because one has Chris Paul played a full season.
Well, also, like, it's kind of like the Brady argument when we talk football, but, like, when is Father Time going to catch up? Like, Chris Paul isn't Tom Brady or LeBron. He's just neither of those guys. Those are the best to ever do it, pretty much. Like, they're in that conversation. Chris Paul is maybe at that position, but
right.
Does he give them another fantastic season like that? I don't know. How much better can Devin Booker get? I'm not sure. DeAndre Ayton's really good, but he's not a shooter.
I don't think they didn't really do much in the offseason to get anybody. They stayed consistent.
And they're young, so I kind of like that, but
their biggest thing is, are they going to stay healthy?
And do we get progress out of Bridges? Does Devin take that superstar step? I think he kind of did in the playoffs. He looked amazing in the playoffs. But can he put a full superstar season together where he emerges as an MVP candidate? That's important for them. And then we'll speed run through the rest. Jazz, then the Clippers, 76ers, Nuggets, Miami Heat, and then we crapped on this team a second ago, but the Dallas Mavericks. So I don't like that at all. But really, after the Heat, I don't think any team even has a chance. So I'm not overly mad about that.
Did you say Atlanta? Because I have them up there. I think Atlanta
is actually right below them. So it's Dallas and then Atlanta.
I think.
Can Atlanta win a finals?
Can they win?
This is
they can get there.
I don't think they can win a finals. Not yet. I need to see DeAndre Hunter become a star.
But that's the thing. Like,
I need one of those other guys to become like a fringe all-star.
Right? Like, I think Cam Reddish has the potential. He just got to stay like healthy. DeAndre Hunter was hurt. I mean, also, he was a rookie last year, so like, I think he's gonna make that like rookie sophomore jump. And then I think, like I said, they got Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson's really good. He's super athletic, so they don't really need that many more shooters. They need people who can get to the freaking basket.
Does that make them better than a team like the Clippers? Like, I'm not even talking Lakers or Warriors or Bucks or Suns. Like, does that make them better than the Clippers? I don't know.
I mean, does Kawhi even playing? Like, I mean, is he coming back? I don't know when.
He'll be back like relatively early. I don't think Kawhi's like out for too long. Yeah, does that even make them better than them? I don't know. Dallas being that high is actually baffling. I legitimately don't think Dallas wins like 43 games. I think they're that poorly constructed. Maybe I'm just a hater this year. I don't know, but
are they doing the play-in?
I actually don't know. That I actually have no idea.
So if they do the play-in, I think he's fine. I think they'll make it. But I don't see them not making the playoffs. I see like their peak is probably 5th seed, but they're like there's floor just because of Luka. Their floor is the 10th seed playoff team or 9th seed, whatever.
See, I think their floor could like somehow be lower. How many teams are in each conference? 15. I think their floor is like 13. I think it could go that bad because like Memphis is still pretty decent. They're a young team getting better. Like, how much better are they? I don't know. The Kings are scrappy.
They lost balance.
The Thunder are going to be bad. The Rockets are going to be bad. The Spurs are going to be bad. The Timberwolves should be better. They have a great big three. They're not going to be.
It's just a matter.
They won't stop the ball from going to the basket. But
no, they absolutely not. They will give up 120 points and they'll score at 119.
And they'll be like the 3rd best offensive team in the league, and they will win 35 games. It'll be really bad.
I mean, I had a higher hope for D'Lo.
I mean, again, their offense is crazy. It's just not their fault that none of those three can play defense, and then nobody around them is even like worth. Name one player on the Minnesota Timberwolves that's not D'Lo, Cat, or Anthony Edwards. Name one. I literally can't. I literally cannot do it, and this is something we do. Like we talk about sports, and I legitimately
talk sports, and I legitimately
can't tell you. Let me go look at this roster. Malik Beasley, sure. All right, stop me when you recognize any of these names. Leonardo Balmero, Brian Bowen II, Nathan Knight, Jake Layman, Matt Lewis.
I know Jake Layman.
Matt Lewis, Jalen McDaniels, Jordan McLaughlin. I mean, this is like their like summer league roster, I think, so it's like kind of big. Josh Okogie. I know him. Tyrion Prince. Okay, big fella. Jared Vanderbilt. He was their big draft pick this year, right?
No, I think Okogie was the draft pick this year, the big one.
Okay, yeah.
Wasn't it? I think so.
So I mean, they have like 6 recognizable names: D'Lo, Cat, Okogie, Jake Layman, Anthony Edwards, and Patrick Beverly. Like what?
Patrick Beverley forgot
Beverley, bro.
about
What are we talking about, bro? this is
no
this is
shot.
awful. Malik Beasley's making $15 million this year.
$15 million to do what? To do what? Sit there, look pretty.
He's a good looking dude, I guess. A shout out, but
Yeah.
I mean that's all Kelly Oubre is doing over there in Charlotte.
They got better. They got
better, bro. Who cares?
They'll make the playoffs this year.
They'll be the 9 seed.
No, they'll be like the 6 seed. LaMelo's cold.
Bro, the East is too good. Here's all the teams in the East better. Celtics, Nets, Knicks, 76ers. Bucks.
Can you say that? Can you say the 76ers with confidence?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because Embiid and Tobias, that's a good team. It's a good team. Tyrese Maxey had a really good year. Like that's a good team still. Like I don't think they're doing anything crazy, but they're still good. So 4 of the teams in the Atlantic, the Bucks definitively, and the Hawks and the Heat. That's 7 teams definitively better than them. Okay. And I think the Bulls might be.
No.
I think the Bulls might be. We both slandered the Bulls earlier. I think the Bulls might be better than Charlotte. That's 8 teams better.
I think they're going to do better than their prediction. Honestly, they're like my dark horse to like.
Okay.
Dark horse.
Are they your Knicks from last year kind of a deal?
No, because I didn't think the Knicks were going to make the playoffs last year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like a team that just way overshoots everything they're supposed to do.
But I think they'll make the playoffs. But yeah, to compare, yeah, I think so.
Okay, we're running low on time, but real quick. Full actual dark horse, semi-contender from both leagues. Or just in general, one semi-contender that could sneak in and win it all.
West, I am
just
going
just one.
with
yeah,
just one. Oof.
It's a little weird. I figured you would go Atlanta.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I'll go Atlanta. I'm going based off their odds. Off their odds,
they're definitely
Atlanta.
Sleeper, odds-wise. Yeah, that works. I'm probably going to go Denver. Denver does not have great odds this year. I think they're 9th. And I really like when Jamal comes back. They remind me of a better shooting, more athletic, more fun to watch Phoenix Suns.
If you get a bowl, Nuggets in 4.
That's a deep team too. Like they went 0-4 in preseason, so what do I know? What do I know? Listen, guys, thank you for stopping by and listening to us. The NBA season starts next Tuesday. That is tip-off. We cannot wait. We got some graphics coming out for you guys, and we will be talking NBA from that point forward. Make sure you stay tuned for our next podcast episode on Monday, and follow us on all of our socials @_thespectators, and follow us on YouTube if you do not already. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. Go Knicks.
Deuces.